another Bloomsday is in the books for Spokane as tens of thousands from across the world ran across the Lilac City for a 7.5-mile race. Those runners are welcomed by hundreds of volunteers after they cross the finish line every year. Today, though, they were missing a familiar face. Good evening and thanks for staying with KXLY for another special edition. I'm Ariana Lake. Now, a beloved Spokane community member, Andrew Vathis, passed away in January when he was hit by a car crossing 57th Avenue on the South Hill. This marked the first time in 10 years that he missed volunteering at Bloomsday, but his legacy lived on. Our Taylor Graham has more on Andrew and the special honor he received this week from organizers of the race he loved so much.
Andrew's friends and coworkers say he loved competition almost as much as he loved helping people. So Bloomsday was his day every year. And even though he wasn't here today to hand out t-shirts, Andrew still left his mark on this year's race. From the shotgun start to crossing the finish line at Bloomsday 7 miles later, there's nothing quite like this race, this feeling in Spokane.
Whether you won Bloomsday or you're the last person to cross the finish line, Andrew was there cheering for you.
The joy these runners feel crossing the finish line is probably similar to how Andrew Vathis felt as he waited for them there every year for the last decade.
Most of the time, he would hand out t-shirts to people and, cheer them on, and he'd be there from the elite runners all the way to the very last person who crossed the finish line.
But this year, when those runners went to pick up their shirts, they were missing their biggest fan.
He would ask where he could help. He wasn't part of any organization or anything. He just asked where he could help.
Andrew was killed crossing the street on 57th Avenue in January. In the years before his death, his friend Rick says Andrew never let his disability get in the way of serving others. He'd bust down to Bloomsday to help out, and Rick would pick him up afterwards. And in the months since his death, Rick has watched as his legacy of love continues to grow. He just accepted Bloomsday's Spirit Award on behalf of Andrew, given to those who are consistently positive and upbeat at one of Spokane's biggest events.
It kind of summarizes Andrew's whole life, was that Spirit Award.
It's yet another reminder of the mark Andrew left on this race, this city that he loved so much.
He loved to volunteer, and he absolutely loved people and didn't care what kind of person they were. He just absolutely loved people.
Taylor Graham, KXLY 4 News.